Welcome to Freshly Popped, a daily show examining pop culture headlines so you don't have to. Today is January 23rd, 2026, and I'm Sequoia Holmes.
I'm Fiona Shea.
And I'm Ryan Graham. Almost knocked my hat off.
And today we're losing it over Harry Styles releasing new music, Blake Lively's testing habits, and Northwest's homeschool schedule.
Okay. I also have an update on, as we were preparing, I got a notification from People magazine about the Brooklyn Beckham Nicola Peltz situation at their wedding, and I was like, okay, I want to update the people. I feel like this story really is just taking the internet by storm. Like someone tweeted yesterday, the UK needed this Beckham drama, and I was like, okay. So anyways, I'll keep it pretty short, but essentially DJ Fat Tony, who DJ'd the Beckham wedding, did an interview yesterday. I'll just kind of summarize it. And he essentially said that it was kind of Mark Anthony's fault, the whole dance scandal. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let me explain. Brooklyn, when he posted the statement to his Instagram story a few days ago, a piece of it, which we talked about on the show, basically called out his mother, Victoria Beckham, for dancing inappropriately on him during a dance that was supposed to be between Brooklyn, the groom, and Nicola, the bride. Essentially what DJ Fat Tony says happened is Mark Anthony, who's a friend of David and Victoria Beckham, was performing at the wedding as like a wedding gift. He was just doing it because they're friends. And he basically said, Brooklyn, get on up here. It was a Latin song. Brooklyn, get up on here. And everyone was expecting the 500 guests at the wedding for Mark Anthony to call up Nicola. Like the timing of it, it felt like it would be the right time to do a first dance between the bride and groom.
Right.
Brooklyn comes up, and then Mark Anthony goes, and bring up the most gorgeous, the most beautiful woman in the room tonight, Miss Victoria Beckham.
Mark.
I love it.
Read the room.
DJ Fat Tony says that you could hear a pin drop. Like, it was so awkward. So all the 500 guests did understand this is fucking awkward. And that Victoria goes up. She's trying to just like, make a moment of it.
Right.
Because what are you going to do in front of the 500 people? And so she and Brooklyn start dancing. And I guess Mark Anthony said, because it was like kind of like a Latin salsa song, Brooklyn, put your hands on your mother's hips. Like, let's get into it.
God.
So that might be where the inappropriate dancing came from. And then Nicola,
of course,
ran out crying, upset. Brooklyn went to follow her. We know the rest of the story.
I kind of like it. Honestly, this is the mess I live for. Celebs, they're just like us.
It's funny. That's a funny story.
It is funny.
I'm not mad at that story.
I also just love the idea that Nicola stands like the most beautiful girl in the world, and she like face up.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Your mother-in-law at your wedding.
Your monster-in-law who you hate.
I feel that is devastating to happen, but that explains the two sides of the story. Why I can imagine how she could think she was a monster for that. I do.
100.
I would also think you're a monster.
I can imagine Brooklyn being like, yeah, it was really uncomfortable to put my hands on my mom's hips
while my wife is running out crying.
Right. I'm not touching my mom's hips. She doesn't even have hips as far as I'm concerned.
And we're like trying to salsa, like I think that's a great way to put it, Ryan. This account from DJ Fat Tony totally shows how it could be interpreted two different ways.
For sure.
One event, two realities. Like, that makes so much sense. 100%. And I also love the idea that David Beckham's in the back like, oh, the point. Oh, please, give me a point of Guinness. I don't know if that's how David Beckham sounds, but in my brain.
That's what he sounds like. Give me a point.
Oh, a point.
Yeah, he's just like juggling the soccer ball in the back.
Right.
Stupid. I love it. Well, speaking of famous Brits.
Speaking of famous Brits, I got more news.
Yeah?
Harry Styles' new song, Aperture. Okay, so we knew that his new album is coming out in March. He announced it a few weeks ago. Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. That's the name of the new album coming out in March. And the single dropped last night, this morning, Aperture. Did you guys listen to it?
I did.
Silence. Yes. I was present while it happened.
Yep.
I listened to it on my computer right here as I was like typing up notes about it. And I was like, I like it. I like the electronic pop beat, but I need to listen in my, if you got to do the test like in the car and with headphones in.
Yes.
But I'm also kind of in an electronic era right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, a bit. Because I went to a Coachella themed party a few weeks ago at the top of the year and was like resurfacing. Yeah, it was really fun. Resurfacing all of my like electronic music that I kind of got introduced to at Coachella when I went this past year. Anyways, I liked it.
Okay.
I'm glad. I'm sure
Happy
you are
for
not
you.
alone. I love that. I'm sure Harry's house is full right now, if you will.
Right.
No,
Bitches in the house.
I listened to it in the car because I was like, oh, okay, I like Harry Styles, undeniably talented and a great live performer. I really liked seeing him live.
Okay.
Something about this song just felt like I was like, oh, maybe this will grow on me, but it felt like a nothing burger. Like I felt very much like I was just happening to be in the space while it was going on. It didn't feel like a catchy hook to me, and then also the beat was electronic, but it felt too dreamy. It reminded me a lot of Lorde, and I am not a Lorde girly.
Oh,
got it.
I am a Lorde girl.
Very much melodrama Lorde, melodrama era Lorde, and I was just like, oh, not for me. But he sounds ... good? Question mark.
Yeah, Harry always sounds good. Yeah, I think my issue with this is that it was disjointed to me. Like Harry's voice doesn't lend well to an electronic beat to me. Like Lorde's voice does lend really well to an electronic beat. Lady Gaga's voice lends well to an electronic beat. Addison Rae's voice lends well to an electronic beat. Harry Styles' voice is almost too soulful for an electronic beat. Something's off. Something was amiss. I didn't like this song. I did not think it sounded bad. Like I wasn't like, oh, this is bad music. I did not like it.
See, I thought it kind of, of course it was more electronic than Harry's house, but interestingly enough, the guy who produced this new song, Aperture, also produced As It Was. So I did not feel that much of a departure from Harry's house. I'm not even a big Harry Styles girl, to be honest, but I really liked Harry's house. Obviously, he won the Grammy for it in 2023. We know that was probably his most commercially successful album to date. I think his voice, well, again, yes, it's a little more electronic. There's more beats per minute in this Aperture song. It's like faster. He already was kind of experimenting in this way on Harry's house to me.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I'm with you. I guess like my thought when I think of As It Was, it still feels something about the way he is singing on Aperture makes it feel slower than it is. I know the actual beat is fast, but the energetic.
I see that. I see that
in a way that As It Was is like it feels like you're running with it the whole time, and even the way he's singing, it feels like you're like keeping up with it. I feel like lead singles should do like one of three things. It should A, be a thesis statement to the rest of your album, and perhaps this is that, and that makes me less excited for this album. B, it should be like attached to some type of, I'm going to say like controversy, and I'm putting that in quotations, like yes, and while it felt not thematically the same as Eternal Sunshine, it was attached to her responding to everyone being like, you stole a man. Like, and I'm like, okay, whatever, give me some or Wrecking Ball is drama for the music video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it should be like a fucking hit. And I'm like where it is like you are just like full on throwing a bop at us like this is just something that everyone's gonna turn up. And I feel like this doesn't feel like it's like a big boppy hit, and it doesn't feel like it is like a scandalish type of thing. So I'm assuming it's the thesis. And if this is the thesis, it makes me feel bored. Because I'm like, if I'm thinking Kiss All the Time disco, I want a disco. Like give me like we're gonna be vibing dancing, and this feels not that. And so it was just, I think that also is why I didn't like it, because I think I was expecting something else. Because like, I think like even Lady Gaga with Disease for Mayhem, I think it is a thesis in the sense of, although it doesn't match thematically, sonically, it is a little like dark pop. Yeah. And the rest of that album was dark pop. So I'm like, it made
very
sense.
Gaga. You know what I mean? Like it was quintessential Gaga versus this doesn't feel quintessential Harry to me. And I don't like As It Was either. I would also
I love that song.
I don't like As It Was because I don't like the As It Was reminds me of that OK Go song. Here it goes, here it goes, here it goes again.
So another hit is what you're saying.
Sure. I just don't like the sound of either of those songs. As It Was, it bothers me that it goes dun 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 dun. I don't like that. It sounds like a commercial in a negative, like derogatory way.
I agree with you, Sequoia, except when it like randomly will come on if I'm in the car or somewhere and I'll be like, oh, I forget that this was a big hit. I don't know. It
Big
has
hit.
some like nostalgia attached to it.
That's fair.
That while I don't listen to it on my own, when it does recirculate, I'm like, oh, I forget that there are elements of this song that I like, but I agree about that.
Maybe we just have different, because I specifically love that.
Like that?
I think
Okay.
that touches a part of my brain that makes me so happy. That sound.
Okay.
I get that. It does sound happy. It's saccharine to me, like too
sweet.
I'm like, I don't like that, and I don't like that noise. Like, I don't like when songs have that noise.
I agree.
Like, whatever that instrument is or whatever that synth is, I don't like the use of that in music at all. I never like that.
I was gonna ask, so As It Was the single for Harry's House, as we remember. And this is a random question, but Abracadabra wasn't the single for Gaga. It was
wasn't the lead.
Disease.
Disease was the lead, and then
And to kind of, I do like Gaga, but maybe not as much as you. I don't even know what Disease is. I don't think that was a good reflection of the album.
it wasn't a hit by any means. It kind of flopped. I think that's fair. It flopped to me. I will say
you.
it
I don't
fits
know
into
it.
It fits in. It's I can be I can turn out yeah, it fits thematically into the actual album. It does.
Okay.
It was.
But is it the thesis?
I think so.
More or less, what I think it did is Gaga telling us she's returning to form.
Yeah.
It was Gaga telling us, hey, what you loved about me, I'm doing that again on this album. Go check it out. And she did.
Okay, that's fair.
And yeah, I'm like, it definitely is like, it reminds me of Teeth. It reminds me of like her deep cuts on her first album. So like it is, and that is kind of what she did. It was like I'm doing peak Gaga. And
Okay, that's
so
a good way to put it,
fits-
Sequoia. I'm returning to form, which Harry is not saying that on.
He's
on
not.
feels
He's
bad.
not. And I don't like it. Like, I really like Harry Styles.
I agree.
One of my best friends, my roommate of 10 years, was like a Harry Styles stan. So I've seen him live. I know all of his music because she played it out loud constantly. This doesn't feel aligned with Harry.
That's
and
interesting.
I just don't like it. And artists are allowed to grow and shift and whatever, and he can do
sure.
whatever he wants with his art. I am not following him into this era if this is what it sounds like.
Okay.
Now, I will say, I know this tour is coming up, and he's doing like 50 nights in New York or something like that. Something crazy. He's doing like a shit ton of nights in New York.
Yeah.
Is it?
And, 'cause
Yesterday.
Go. I'm sorry.
Yesterday, he announced a 7-city residency. And he previously for Harry's House did a residency at MSG. Okay, so it's called Together Together, promoted by Live Nation. The tour will include 50 stops, I think, total. Or is it going to be 50 in each? In Amsterdam, London, it can't be 50 in each.
I don't know if
It's
it
gotta
can't be
total.
50 each, but I know it's a shit ton of nights in New York.
Okay. It's 50 across, I assume, Amsterdam, London, Sao Paulo, Mexico City, New York, Melbourne, Sydney, through May of 2026, December 2026.
Wow. Okay. I mean, it could be 50 in each because that's a year, pretty much. 350.
I definitely
But May
am
through
going
the
to make that
December,
trip.
I think the math.
Oh,
I'm
it's
gonna
not a year.
assume
It's
30
half a year.
nights.
assume it's
It is.
yeah.
I just looked it up. It is 30 nights in New York because I remember it was like something crazy.
30 nights
in
in New York City. You know what? I kind of like this tour
I agree.
schedule. It feels like it allows an artist to acclimate to where they are, and so they get to have a better time on stage. Like, you know, people do residencies for that reason. But if you're young and you still want to travel the world, it's like, yeah, I'll do 7 residencies, and I'm big enough to do that shit. Period, Harry.
And
Right.
I do, like you're saying, I like it also gives everyone, because I think that's the only stop in America. So it also gives, like,
It is.
it gives you reason to travel. It's like he's picking places around the world, kind of like how Beyonce did Cowboy Carter, where it's like smaller space or smaller distance, but more nights there. And I 100% will be making that journey out because he's really good live.
Okay, he is good.
Oh,
live.
so you're going.
Yeah, even though this song didn't do it, I love him and I would go.
The
Okay.
issue with Harry Styles live to me when I saw him, and this is ridiculous, but like the screaming from girls is so loud that you almost cannot hear Harry.
Fair.
It's silly.
It
I'm
is.
like, wow, I've never been to a concert where the artist on stage with the microphone, I'm struggling
hear
to
them.
hear them because you bitches are loud, losing your shit.
I think my friend said the same thing. Yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, this came into my mind. I need to give Aperture one more listen through.
Same.
But
Same.
I wasn't listening to the lyrics very much, which is different for me. I typically am lyric forward. I was just liking the beat. So you guys talking about a disconnect between like Harry as a singer, as an artist, and the beat, I do agree because I wasn't connecting the two. So I do, while I liked the beat, I do hear you on that.
The only lyric I heard was "Aperture lets the light in."
Yeah.
Yeah, which I like that. That was cute.
Yeah, and I said,
Yeah.
I guess, child. Okay.
Well,
That's
okay.
about the
What does he know
opening
about
on
cameras? Is
on a
what
camera
again I
lens.
thought.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, what the fuck does he know about cameras? Was my take on it. But anyways, Harry, we'll be here.
Yeah.
I hope the rest of the album don't sound like that, but
And
whatever you want to do.
I want to mention, just because we got some Beyonce fans in the room, we haven't had music from Harry since he won the 2023 Grammy for Best Album of the Year, beating Renaissance. Remember, he took the speech, and then he kind of has been flying a little under the radar.
And also, if we're going according to schedule, it seems like Beyonce will also drop this year, so we might have a repeat next year.
Oh, Harry,
Drama.
well, count your days, buddy. Not too
I
much.
can't believe Harry's House beat Renaissance. Come
Harry's
on.
House beating Renaissance.
Come on.
Harry Styles has better albums than Harry's House.
I like mine.
Like Beyonce. Stop. Enough.
So he was
I've had
I
enough.
think felt awkward after that. Remember, he did the speech and he was getting a lot of hate, and he
And
had to.
I do remember. And you know
Well, 'cause
what?
he
Yeah, people were being
specifically-
unnecessarily mean to him. I did feel like people were
I agree.
ridiculous about it.
Like, what is he
but-
supposed to do? Well, I
Yeah.
think 'cause the comment that pissed people off is that he said, "This doesn't happen to people like me," and people took that the wrong. Like, they took it to mean
Okay.
like
They
straight
don't know
white
that
men.
man.
And also,
You don't
I'm
know
like,
that man.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
God.
I'm like, you don't know what he's been through.
So I was like, whatever. But you know who
But-
does know what he's been through? His ex Taylor Swift. I
Let
bet.
me tell you
They
something.
dated, right?
Probably. It makes
Oh,
sense.
they
I'm pretty
did.
sure.
They did.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
knew you
You
were
were
trouble when you walked in.
Is that
Come on.
about
That's about Harry.
I know
Yeah.
Style is about him for sure too.
Wow, of course it is.
Yeah, of
Ooh,
course.
I don't
Oh
think I
my
put
god,
that
just
together.
so on the nose. Anyways, there's more unsealed text messages between
Okay.
Blake Lively and Taylor Swift, and this one was piping hot to me. Oh my god, talk about friendship drama. Okay, so here's what happened. Hold on, let me clear my throat. Give me a sec. Okay. Blake texts Taylor saying, this is going to be long reading. Bear with me. Y'all know I can't read for real. Hey, just checking in. I have no reason to ask, but I don't know. I've just been feeling like I should. Is everything okay? I feel like a bad friend lately because I was such a sad sack who only talked about my own shit for months. You were generous not only to be the key person there for me during all of it, but also to let me off the hook for being so in it. But I still have the feeling something may not be right. I told Ryan, he said just ask you, but I felt so stupid and like I sounded needy and awkward for everyone, especially because I can't explain why I have this feeling, and you know I have toxic masculinity, so I can't be needy. But also, I do want to know everything is good, so I'm asking. I always want the opportunity to be a better friend if there's something I unintentionally did. I know how busy and taxed you are physically, emotionally, practically, so I don't expect any more from you ever. Just want to make sure all is good. Okay.
Woof.
That was Blake. Taylor responds, and Taylor says, no, you're not wrong, but it's also not a big deal. I think I'm just exhausted in every avenue of my life, and in recent months have been feeling a little bit of a shift in the way you talk to me.
Ooh.
Yes, there has been a lot of Justin stuff. I've been going through things like this before, and I know how all-consuming it is. It's more like, and I feel really bad even saying anything about this, because your texts have been so nice in their intent, but your last few, it's just felt like I was reading a mass corporate email sent to 200 employees. You said the word we like 18 times, and it feels awful to be in any way critical of the way you're processing what you've been going through. But I just kind of miss my funny, dark, normal speaking friend who talks to me as herself, not like a plural unit. When it's a group I'm hearing from, I feel distance from you even more than we are geographically. And then there's some redacted stuff.
Oh.
Then she says, and I know you feel attacked from all sides for ridiculous reasons, so you're feeling like you have to overly explain things or be overly nice or whatever, but it's me. It's just caused a little distance.
Interesting.
That is so a couple days ago when we were talking about Taylor Swift and Blake Lively's text, we said these text messages are so weird. The way they talk to each other is so weird. So for Taylor to come out and be like, yeah, the way you've been talking to me lately is so
Fucking weird.
weird. I'm like, okay, so we're on the same page. So y'all don't usually talk to each other like this, because I refuse to believe you guys are friends talking to each other like this.
I also, like, at first hearing Blake's text, I was like, God, this just feels like a lot. It felt annoying and needy, but then hearing Taylor's response, it did. It felt annoying and needy. Come on, did we not all fall there?
I didn't get that.
I think
that's not the read on
I
it.
think
Sorry.
it just could have been shorter. Like, yo,
Yes.
is everything
It
good?
felt
Like, we're
anxious.
just There's a lot of extra words.
Yeah.
I get that's maybe I said that wrong because I agree. It felt anxious. It's not needy. It's just like this makes me like them more. I'm like, I like them in the sense of I'm like, you two are real people.
100%.
I feel bad for you because I get
agree.
it.
This made me like both human beings more.
Yes.
This made me like Taylor more, especially the bit. And I feel really bad about saying anything but your texts because they're nice in their temp, but it feels like I'm reading a mass corporate email sent to 200 employees.
She said, you said we like 18 times. I'm so tired of you and that man. I know she's so tired of Ryan. This makes me feel like, at least Taylor Swift, this makes me feel like she's not male-centered. Yeah. She said, we, who is this? Who the fuck is we? Like, why do you keep talking to me about you and Ryan? I don't care about that man.
Yeah, I think that Blake was, she's going through this whole case with Justin Baldoni. She's like, I have Taylor Swift on my team, and I have Ryan Reynolds, and I have Hugh Jackman, right? And we're all going through this. And Taylor's probably like, there ain't no we, babe. I'm doing the fucking Eras tour, and I'm tired as hell. Like, I'm sorry, we're friends, but you're crossing a boundary with me. That's kind of what I took from it.
Yeah.
Which is very valid.
The fact that she was literally on tour. Imagine, you just got off night 6 at fucking in New York, and then all of a sudden Blake done hit you with like, God damn.
Look at your phone and you have a novel from Blake Lively, and you're like, girl, please, I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
Taylor's like in a fucking ice bath. Like, can't even like...
I wonder how long it took her to respond to that. I didn't see the time between the texts, but
that feels like one I would 100% read and be like, I will get back to this later. I don't have the capacity
right now.
This.
Right.
Like, it sucks because it's like obviously you love your friend and you're like, I get you're going through it. And again, like Taylor says, it can be all consuming when you're in it. And it's like, I fucking get that. And also I'm
also all consumed by my tour.
I'm all consumed. I'm all consumed, babe.
Right.
I'm the biggest pop star in the world.
And you drug me into this shit. Now it's consuming me too.
What?
Well, I mean, to be fair, Taylor seems like a willing participant in the shit up until it got to this point.
Right. But yeah, I definitely feel like I can see how that can drive a wedge between you, where you're like, oh, I miss when we were just like hanging out and having fun, and now that when we hang out, it's always some shit. I'm like, fuck. It's just like, and I guess friendships obviously ebb and flow, but there are times where like the work of a friendship, because all friendships take work, becomes a lot, and there are times where like, fuck, this is a job right now, and I wish this was just fun. But I guess sometimes you got to go through it, and it seems like they're being mature about it. Like from this, they seem like they are at least being open and honest and like trying to work through it. So that's nice.
I am happy that if Blake was feeling anxious about whether or not something was wrong with the Taylor situation, she asked her, and I'm happy that Taylor didn't say nothing's wrong, even though something was wrong.
Right.
I'm glad she said, yeah, I'm feeling a little distant. You keep saying we, like, I don't even know you anymore. Are you talking to me crazy? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, it feels like this is a healthy. This is the what you were saying earlier, Shakur, where it felt weird before. This feels like the healthy text exchange needed. This is probably the breaking point, and then I'm sure after this, like all that redacted stuff might have been like, and I'm gonna eat your pussy. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. But could you imagine, like all the redacted stuff is just like dirty sex talk?
Oh my god, ew. But
you believe that? You believe that theory?
It's ew.
Yeah, it's always ill, Ryan. Anyways,
I know that Taylor's sitting there just kind of like, dude, and now my private personal texts are being released.
Oh my god.
Yeah, God.
It's gotta be annoying. It's low-key making her look better. These texts that I just read made her look better. I will say.
Agreed.
The ones before where Blake Lively was thanking her for making up all the lies and shit, that made her look a little crazy.
Well, it also felt set up-ish. Like that to me, those things read as like, I am doing this because this will come in handy for the courts later. That is how I don't know. This makes it feel much better. The other ones before felt like this feels like a setup. I don't know. It felt weird to me.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
This does give context to Blake maybe pulling Taylor in because they're good friends to a situation in which she's dealing with, and Taylor at the beginning wanted to be a good supportive friend and now is feeling like you're crossing my boundary and you're making your problem mine. Sure, I'll come to a dinner and say a few things that you want me to, but now it's getting to a point where you're involving me too much in your drama.
It all gets to a point. That's really it. It gets to a point. Yeah.
But you know, Another one of Taylor's good friends, Kim Kardashian, which, so Kim Kardashian went on her sister Khloe's podcast and actually mentioned how she does listen to Taylor Swift. Like, there's some music of her she listens to. But Kim was just kind of talking about her life and giving updates. And a couple of things she brings up, non-Taylor Swift related, are how she is she's homeschooling Northwest, and they have a very unconventional schedule.
Okay.
So like, Kim Kardashian has been homeschooling Northwest since she got banned. That was a lyric in Northwest's song that she was banned from regular school, so now she is homeschooled. Unclear if that is the actual truth, but we do know for a fact that Kim Kardashian has been homeschooling Northwest a lot recently.
Okay.
And a lot of things she's doing, she says, we do fashion courses in the summers, and we go to FIT, which is the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York. And she goes to fashion camp. Then she also is interested in making jewelry, so then we go through budgeting there. She had an idea of making hats and making jewelry and all the things she wanted to do, so we make it a course. So she has to go to web design, she has to go to the budgeting, she has to go to the stores and get all the materials and learn to sew. She says it's also been a lot of fun for her in terms of blossoming in the music world, because in a regular class, she would just take music courses, but now she does an 8-hour music studio session where she's making music and producing. So her schedule, it kind of is this like real world example of what life can be, and then using math and writing and things like that in it. And I'm like, people are trying to be upset with Kim for this. And I'm like, this actually sounds like a good dream scenario for a kid. It's like, 100%. Like, obviously if you were in school and not having a good time learning like the traditional way, you were interested in fashion. You know what? You have to know math. You have to know how to write emails. You have to know all those things.
Geometry, all that type of shit.
Yeah, so I'm going to use the things you like to teach you things. So she's got like the help of a couple of tutors to help her.
For sure.
To help her as she teaches North. And one thing Kim also said is, so like, I think that like there's one misconception that people have is that, oh, she's trying to be her bestie and lets her get away with anything. And Kim continued, like, no, Northie, that's what she calls her. Northie actually has a lot of rules. However, I do let her express herself, and I do let her do that. A lot. I love that for her, and she would do it regardless. So I just open up and let her do it. And so because yesterday off camera we were talking about North's dermal piercings, because like obviously in producing music she's like starting to tease some of these things online. One of the songs she mentions, Sequoia, the lyric is, I got dermals on my, what is it? Dermal on my right hand.
Piercings out my hand, the other holding bands.
There it is.
No friends, just fans you wouldn't understand.
Correct. So she talks about how like she got those dermal piercings in her hands, and I felt like this feels like a lot for a kid, and I still feel that way, but I like that Kim is being open about it and is like, hey, I'd rather her come to me, we have this joint understanding of what's going on, and instead of like putting pressure on her to do and be differently, I'm just letting her express herself in all areas. Kim also mentioned that this music school has also brought her and Kanye back together, not like in like a romantic way, but they are in a really good place now because
that's good.
North is working with Kanye on some of this music, and I'm like, also, if your mom is fucking Kim Kardashian, who, for better or worse, or however you think about it, a fashion icon, and then also you're Kanye West, also a fashion icon, and then also a music genius, who better to learn from? I feel like she's actually in the best school for the things she wants to do, and so I feel like before people judge this homeschool brand building type of method, I think it works considering Kim Kardashian and family are the best at building brands, so why not learn that from your mom? You know what I mean? This is the best school for her.
I think this method is great for children's creative expression, similar to like a Billie Eilish situation, right? She was homeschooled, making music with her brother at a very young age. She was able to bring her talents to the next level. The only things that like come to mind with my concerns of this situation is like socialization with other kids is so important at this age in middle school, to kind of, you know, not be like, I'm Kanye and Kim's daughter and I'm the best. Like being at school kind of humbles you in ways, because there's other girls who are talented and there are other people who are good at school, and you're learning how to function within social groups. And then also like kind of like a common understanding, and I know I don't have great recall of everything I learned in school, but like history is really important, and like are you incorporating that into so that North knows at least a brief understanding of like US
That's
history
fair.
and that kind of stuff? Because while sure I might not be able to recall certain dates and whatnot, like that understanding still almost helps inform decisions, inform conversations, inform art, that without it I think it might be hard to completely function as an adult.
That's very valid, very fair. Because like you're saying, a lot of art is a direct response to what is going on at the current moment or things that have happened in the past, and that involves music and fashion. So like there are certain things outside of just like math and writing and all those things that inform your decisions in terms of creativity. That I'm not considering, and maybe they do. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I imagine that there's some homeschooled course like to pass grades you have to have some type of curriculum. But they just didn't mention it. But you're right. I didn't consider that as a downside to this type of learning.
What do you think, Sequoia?
I really think this is a really good setup for her. I do hear you on that history thing, and I think Northwest specifically needs a history course because Kanye has gone on record to say that he thinks we focus too much on history and we need to stop focusing on history and focus on the future.
Yikes.
And he said a lot of crazy shit that kind of like undermines real things that people went through, aka the Holocaust,
slavery.
You know?
He said a lot of
True.
crazy shit. And his child probably needs to know that the crazy shit that her dad said is incorrect. So that would be ideal. That said, yeah, her being homeschooled and learning in this way makes a lot of sense. She's not a regular kid. It wouldn't make sense to try to copy paste a regular kid's schedule onto a kid who both parents are global superstars.
Right.
It's a recipe for disaster, I would say. And again, what we've seen with Northwest on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, she does seem rather bullish on what she wants to do. Like she doesn't seem like an easily boxed in kid. She doesn't seem like she kind of just follows rules easily. She needs to have a good understanding of why that exists.
Yeah.
And she's going to speak her mind. So I commend Kim for working with the kid that she has instead of trying to turn her into a kid that she is not.
Because if she's being headstrong and like knows what she wants, but it's not attached to like really negative behaviors, i.e. having tantrums, i.e. then if a kid knows what they want, I think it is good to feed and like
nurture
positively, give positive validation for that.
Courtney, who letting Penelope beat up the nanny. If we remember. If we remember from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, remember there was that whole situation where I think it was Penelope. I'm pretty sure it was Penelope. Courtney and Scott were sitting at the dinner table with Corey, Chris, and other people or whatever. And they were talking about how Penelope smacked the nanny.
Oh my God.
And Corey was like, oh, I'd smack Penelope.
Oh, I kind of remember
and then Courtney's like, you would what?
I'm like,
you would do what?
I'm like, yeah, she hit me.
Baby, you'll never be around my baby. And Courtney's like, yeah. Corey's like, yeah,
she hit me. Why would I not?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know.
So that was crazy.
Interesting. I guess we were talking about yesterday. I do think that there is a spectrum and a pendulum, and I think obviously I'm not a parent. If I were a parent, there are certain things I still think I would be like, I would like you to be a kid, and I do think there's a level of like
you don't want to grow up too fast.
Yeah, they're like because like some of the fashion, I get it, express yourself, but there are times where I'm like, but you do look older, and maybe that's the Missouri. Hey, the Missouri in me is deep. Those roots run deep. Where I'm like, I think that there are ways for you to be a kid and still have your own sense of style. And I hate comparing them because obviously everybody is different. But I feel like Blue Ivy feels like a kid who also has a very similar reality and still expresses herself in a way. But it still feels like, oh, this feels like a kid. Like, does that make sense? Like I feel like Blue Ivy's also on red carpets, is also in dresses that I'm like, this is an older look for a kid, but it doesn't feel like, I don't know, something about it feels inappropriate. I think what comes to mind is like sometimes when I see North, I'm like, this looks like an outfit that would be on Baddies. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, and that is a problem for me, but also
this kind of goes back to what I was saying before, where I feel like adult women have kind of co-opted the sexy baby appearance. And so like tutus and like, stuff where I'm like, that's something children wear.
For children.
When North puts on a tutu and thigh-high boots that are not sexy thigh-high boots, they are anime-inspired thigh-high boots, which is, again, children's content. All of it starts to...
Thigh-high boots is...
It's
I
like
don't
it's
think
like,
you can wear thigh-high boots
and I would
as
also
a
argue-
kid and argue that it's a kid.
And even the anime of it all, like also a lot of those, because when I think of like Sailor Moon, I watched it again as an adult, and I'm like, this is also inappropriate. Like there's so too many shots up skirts, and like I mean, I think there's a little creepy.
That's anime does that. Anime does do that.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like I'm like at the end of the day, I don't know. North appears to be dressing. I'm not getting that. When I look at Northwest, I'm like, maybe I'm biased because North is exactly who I would have been at 13 had I had the means to be her. She is precisely down to the outfits, the blue hair. I talked about having blue hair for a decade. I never did it.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like I'm like,
I think it's the edginess, Sequoia.
It's the edgy, like she has an edge. She has an edge. And like we talk about Blue Ivy doesn't have an edge,
but she's not. She doesn't have the edge. She's wearing classier stuff,
which is fine.
Which is fine. Totally. It's the edge of Northwest style, which you relate to as a punk girl in middle school. That is also because if you're 25 and you have blue hair, people are still kind of looking at you a little, right? Because when I did have mine, like you're getting a little look. So when you're a kid and you're leaning into these kind of alternative styles, I think it amounts to more criticism.
And you don't have to go through the ugly phase because you know how to do makeup perfectly because your mom is Kim Kardashian, whereas the rest of us looked crazy when we were doing makeup in middle school. And you know how to perfectly get a 30-inch bust down blue wig installed.
Right.
So you don't have to have the beauty supply store synthetic ugly. You know, you don't. So you're skipping. So she gets to skip the ugly phase. All of us would have skipped it if we could. Damn it.
That's a great point. Because when a kid is wearing a tutu and a little glitter makeup and a and a sideways wig, you look like a kid more because it's not professional. But North is getting it professionally done.
And she does. She also likes makeup artistry. So she likes special effects makeup. She does makeup. So I think she's doing her own makeup. I wouldn't be surprised if she's installing her own wig. She's watched wigs get installed on Kim Kardashian for her whole life.
Very true.
I wouldn't be surprised. She just has more talents, more means than the rest of us do. And I think a lot of kids would look like that if they could.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
A good point.
That's fair. And I guess like, at the end of the day, I think like while there are things that I think if I were a parent I wouldn't do, North appears to be very loved. North appears to be very well cared for.
Yeah.
And appears to like not be like in any way, shape, or form neglected or lacking. And I'm like, hey, as long as those things are happening, go off. Because like she does appear to be a very happy kid and like free to like express herself. And I do believe fully that both of her parents love her deeply. And to me, I think that's the most important thing. And so you know what? Hey,
more power.
Right. I agree. I'm like, as long as to me, I think with any kid, as long as those things are covered, do your own
absolutely.
thing.
Hello. And she's making music that I like.
Yeah.
And that is the most important thing here.
The music is slapping.
The music is something that I personally like, and that is critical. So.
It's funny. I realize we just like different sounds in music because, like,
we
you're
really
right.
do.
It sounds like drill, and I'm like, she sounds like any other rapper, and like that's out right now, and I'm like, I hate all that shit
12.
too.
And she produced it herself,
and
the rest of them haven't produced it themselves, and they're not 12.
I think
so
that
let's
should say
really start
something
there.
about the state of rap.
It should say something about the rest of the motherfuckers. Yes,
I agree. I am aligned with you there.
Y'all need to get Northwest on your team. Get some talent, okay? Get
I
some
want her
wits
stuff
about
to
you.
actually drop so I can listen to it
Me
on Spotify
too.
and not
I'm like,
have to go
hello?
around.
Also, just another side note. I don't know if y'all been seeing her TikTok come up, but like, you know, she has a TikTok with her mom, Kim and North.
Yes.
That's her TikTok. The comments are always off. Comments have been on for like 2 weeks. Kim didn't let them comments come on for like 2 weeks. I said, what is happening? Why are the comments on for North's TikTok?
Weird. Interesting. What is it? Maybe something's
Maybe
coming.
music is dropping.
I think she's been teasing the music on TikTok, so she'll like post
needs
it on the
feedback.
TikTok. And I'm like,
feedback, yeah.
but she'll post a bunch of other videos next, and them comments still on too. And I'm like, okay.
Interesting.
And the comments are all like, everybody relax. We just got the ability to comment.
don't.
Nobody act crazy before Kim comes and turns these comments off. Everybody relax, which is so funny to me.
That is funny. But you know whose comments are always on? Ours. And we love I know sometimes me specifically, or I guess all of us at times, are fighting for our lives in those comments. I'm joking. But we love it. Keep the conversation going. And remember, you can follow us on our social pages, Freshly Popped. That's FRESHLYPOP.D. And please continue to like, subscribe, comment wherever you are listening to this right now, and rate us 5 stars. Share this with a friend. And I think that's all we have this week. So we'll see you on Monday.
See you Monday.
Been Popped.